Testing, testing. There we go. All right, all right. What about now? Can y'all hear me now? Still mute. Still mute. I'm good now. Can you hear? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? All right, family. Well, listen. Let me start it all over then. Who that nation? How you doing? Come on in. Take a seat. Sit back. Relax. Put your feet up. Grab a drink and let's talk Saints football. Y'all know what time it is. Time to keep it real. Let's go. Family, family, family. The doors are now open. So come on in. What's going on, family? It's your boy, Dolph Jackson. This is the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. We're brought to you by the Come On In Sports Network. And, baby, we going to talk Saints football today. Hey, we going to talk about the big influence that a certain player has had on the New Orleans Saints 2026 offseason. We also going to talk about a former New Orleans Saint who is not getting the kind of attention that he was hoping for or probably was expecting to get this offseason. So we're going to take a look at both of those narratives. But before I do anything, family, the doors are now open. So come on in. And that means I got to greet the family. The audio is up, baby. Uncle Jerry's in the building. That's right. Uncle Jerry. Jerry, come on in. Thank you for being here as always, my brother. OG Stoner's in the building. Stoner, how you doing? Come on in. All right, my brothers. Uh-oh. Who That Records? This man is confused. We got to help Who That Records because for some reason this man is still a fan of. I'm not even going to say the name. What's up, Records, man? What's up, my brother? Thank you for being here. But Jerry said I'm excited early, but no sound. All right. Hey, man. Hey. Had to get it right, man. Had to get it right, baby. Had to get it right. Record, I'm not even putting that comment up there, man. I'm not even gonna do that. But listen, like I said, there's been a theme. There was a theme with the press conference, the welcome press conference of all the newest members of the New Orleans Saints that were signed at the early stages of free agency. There was a theme that they all followed. And that theme we're going to read is courtesy of Saints Wire USA and our brother over there, John Sigler. But this is by Mr. Jeremy Trotter. So let me get that up on the screen for you. And there we go. Got it, family. All right, family. Again, Tyler Shuck emerging as key facilitator in Saints free agency moves. Now, shout out to my brother Big Q, host of the Sports Karma, man. I was on with Q earlier this week, man. If you missed that show, man, go back and watch it, man. Me and Q, we had a ball. I always enjoy, man, being in the presence of my brother, man. He does a great job. You already know he's an inspiration, man. My brother holding it down. But we actually were talking about this, and I kind of brought it up about that thing that all these players kept saying, and it was this young man here. It was Tyler Shuck. Tyler Shuck changed the mind of these players from the previous season. If the Saints would have went into 2026 the way that they went into 2025, you would have no David Edwards. You will have no Noah Fant. You will have no Travis A-Chain. How about that? And been saying the kid's name wrong for the last 8 to 10 years. But he hung, and he had to get it straight. So let's read this article by Mr. Jeremy Trotter. Jeremy writes, one of the biggest issues for the New Orleans Saints over the past few seasons has been their cap situation and their long-term handling of it. Despite their ability to get out of the Red each year, they really did not have a ton of spending money and usually went for about one big name player in off season. Leaving the rest of the depth pieces, 2026 has been a bit different. With more money opening up for them, they have been able to make some bigger moves. Much of free agency relies upon being able to win over the players too. And living in New Orleans is a huge perk that helps in this case. However, the team being in a difficult spot, both monetarily and roster-wise, made it a less desirable spot for a little bit, for quite a while, since number 9 walked out the door. Let's keep it real. With the breakout of Tyler Shuck in 2025 and the new head coach leading the way, things look to be on the rise. And that has been repeated in the media recently. Kellen Moore recently mentioned something to this effect as well, noting that Shuck's emergence as a high-level quarterback made it easier to land some of the free agents they acquired. This concept was backed up by new signing David Edwards, who noted the rise of Shuck and the momentum of the team moving forward was a huge factor in his decision. Crossover game last year when the Saints played the Jets, we played the Jets the last week of the regular season. And so scouting that film, watching Tyler and this offensive line was really cool. Edwards said during his introductory press conference, you saw so many great traits and plays and special things that he put on film, as well as KB, as he called them, in his press conference, Calvin Banks Jr., Eric McCoy. And I knew Eric was a great player, and so was Caesar and Tyler. So there's so much excitement and momentum. I felt like leading into this sort of decision that made me feel good. Knowing that the quarterback plays such a major role in free agent signings and is actually quite interesting to hear, as it was somewhat expected, but hearing it outright is a fun notion. Protecting Shuck and giving him ample weapons is going to be the key to improvement in 2026, along with the health of the offensive line, the health of Chris Olave, the health of Travis Achan, Alvin Kamara, Jawan Johnson, Noah Fant, Devon Valet, and the Saints have already worked to do so and will no doubt continue to as the draft rolls around. And before we get out here today, we're going to do us a mock draft too. And in the mock draft we do, we go base it on what the Saints have done in retaining players and what they have done in free agency. And we're going to be realistic about it. All right? We're going to have some fun, but we're going to be realistic. So, great article there, again, by Jeremy Trotter, Saints Wire USA. As it was no secret, it's no secret that Tyler Shuck, right now, he's a magnet. He's a magnet. Everyone is attracted to this young man. We got this young man in the second round. He was an afterthought. Man, he wasn't even an afterthought. He wasn't even thought of until the Senior Bowl last year. And still, when his name was called last year on day 2 of the NFL draft, 98% of you now were upset. You were mad. You were angry. You were PS. You were PO'd. Pissed off. Why go get him? We could have had Shador. We could have had Jackson Dart. We could have had Tyler Warren. We could have had so many players. Not in the second round, you couldn't have, but you could have got Shador in the second round. But the Saints had a contingency. They had a plan. As a matter of fact, they had been scouting Tyler Shuck for the last 3 seasons. Mickey Loomis said before Tyler Shuck even got on the radar of other teams, the scout who had scouted Shuck told him, this kid is a priority free agent, and if he if he's undrafted, he's going to be a steal for us. That was 3 years in the process. They have been watching Tyler Shuck. Y'all done heard me say this entire off season. I go all the way back to that game against the Chargers in the preseason. And I knew I'm not the only one. It was the way he handled himself. He not only looked the part of a starting quarterback in the National Football League, he carried himself like that. You saw that fire. You saw that spark in him. And when he finally got his chance, he took off. Finishing 5-4 down the stretch. Could have easily finished 6-3. But 5-4 nonetheless. Did he have his rookie mistakes? Yes. Last game of the season, that intercept, that pick 6 he threw against Atlanta. Hey, that was on him. Got to learn from it. You got to learn. But he came right back, drove the team down the field and scored. That's what I like about that kid. People say it's hard to identify a franchise quarterback. But we've been watching football for numerous years now. Since we were toddlers, we played football. We saw good players, above average players, really good players, great players, Hall of Famers. They didn't walk around with that written on them. It's about what they did on the field. They just stood out. It was something about them. They had that, here we go again with that word, that it factor. He got it. He has that it factor. He has that swag. No, he has that it factor. He has the ability to make those around him elevate their play. Why do they elevate their play? Because they believe in number 6. They believe in number 6. And now the Saints organization is showing you who that nation, they believe in number 6. They are showing Tyler Shuck, number 6. Tyler, we believe in you. Let me just say this. I love Tyler. I love him. I love everything he's doing. Embracing the city. Going on podcasts. Going to the Bananas game. Dancing, throwing balls, touchdowns. All that's good. But I got you. I got to remind you. You played 9 games, you went 5-4. And he knows this. You heard him talk. Went 5-4. Your team didn't make the playoff. They got 9 games of film on you. They see your weaknesses. Defensive coordinators, they go attack you. There have been a lot of one-year wonders in the National Football League. You have had a lot of praise heaped upon you, and rightly so. But at the same time, with great responsibility comes great, with great reward comes great responsibility. Hell, y'all know what I mean. My mind's scrambled right now. But you're getting the praise. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying you're getting the praise. Keep working. The young man shows he wants to be great. I know he's working. And at the same time, we have to have realistic expectations heading into 2026. Realistic expectations headed into 2026. Family, we're drafting in the top 10 again. Family, we're drafting number 8. Family, we're a bad football team. We were a bad football team in 2025. We were not a good football team in 2025. We have to improve. The biggest obstacle for any franchise that has lost a great quarterback is to find the next one. And after 9 games, reluctantly, some of us have had to admit he looks like that next guy. Hell, we believe he's that next guy. Most importantly, he believes he's that next guy. He's going out there. He's working to prove he's that next guy. He wants to be great. He wants his name up on the Saints Wall of Fame. He wants his name up in the rafters as the second quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl in New Orleans. It starts with his work ethic, and the kid's been working his behind off. I need him focused though, because this year they're coming. He is a target. There are those outside of New Orleans, outside of that nation, who feel like he is just totally overrated. He's getting too much press for just having been and played 9 games. They're upset about it. The Saints are loading up to go out to the NFC South. Why wouldn't they? I know we say, hey, we swept the Panthers. Atlanta says, hey, we swept the Saints. We split with the Bucks. This division is wide open. Wide open. It's going to come down to, first of all, health for each and every single team in the NFC South. It's going to come down to health. Your quarterback has to, your starting quarterback has to stay healthy the whole season. Your offensive line, starting offensive line has to be intact for over 90% of the time, 90% of the season. Has to. You have to get something out of your running game this year. You have to get a combined, in my opinion, a combined 1,800 yards from scrimmage between Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara. And all these so-called experts who are writing around the country that the Saints are going to move on from Alvin, they're not going to move on from Alvin. Alvin might move on for football, but the Saints aren't going to move on from Alvin. I guarantee you that. But with that being said, Slim, what's going on? Slim South 504, my brother's in the building. Who that to you, my brother? Thank you for being here. Rose City, I see you, baby. Come on in. I still believe Traquan Season has a spot on this roster. Hell, he can block. He can block. I'm just saying, he can block. All right, what's the next comment? Uh-oh. Kyle the Great's in the building. Kyle, how you doing? Come on in. The doors are now open, my brother. And my brother, that's right. Cowboys in the building. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic's own host. What's going on, my brother? Come on in. I will be putting the link in the chat in a minute for anybody want to come in. We gonna talk Saints. We could talk NFC South. We gonna talk the entire NFL. A lot going on. Slim South says Travis Etienne would be a big factor. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is what the Saints brought him in for. That's what the Saints are expecting from him. Now, speaking of expecting things, somebody was expecting a lot of suitors, but so far there has been a lack of suitors for former Saints quarterback Derek Carr. This is courtesy of LouisianaSports.net. It's the Rivers Huggy. Huggy. I'm gonna say Huggy. Anyway, let's get to it. God dang it, Dov, you just be chapping up people's name. Like, you can't be doing that. All right, well, anyway, let's get to it, man. I apologize. Rivers? The NFL calendar dictates a lot throughout the offseason. When contracts void or expire, when teams can begin negotiating free agency contracts versus when those on the open market can truly be signed. The ability to add players from the college ranks and more. While there isn't a specific date for it, the offseason calendar also has a major impact on when teams are comfortable taking unexpected swings at positions of need. That's why the idea that the New Orleans Saints haven't received communication for teams interested in trading for retired quarterback Derek Carr isn't surprising at all. Pro Football Talk, the Saints have still got no inquiries about quarterback Derek Carr, who said he unretired to join a Super Bowl contender. Teams that are currently in need of a quarterback still have a viable pathway to adding their passers of choice on a rookie deal rather than taking on a veteran quarterback for a player hoping to come out of retirement after missing more than a season of football. With the NFL draft still upcoming, at least one quarterback-needy club will get their answer at their position, the Las Vegas Raiders, who have already moved on from last year's starter Geno Smith, whom they traded to the New York Jets. Will be able, the Raiders, to select Indiana's Fernando Mendoza, this year's Heisman Trophy winner, with the top selection of the draft. In the process, the New York Jets got their veteran starter for 2026 by landing Smith in a trade with the Raiders. Other franchises have already set up their future with a signal caller. The Dolphins signed quarterback Malik Willis, while the Minnesota Vikings signed Kyler Murray. With that, teams like the Jets, Arizona Cardinals, and possibly the Cleveland Browns invested draft picks to land a potential future passer. If the Cardinals in particular fail to do so or decide to add a veteran starter while a rookie develops, then pursuing Carr will make sense. Additionally, should a team experience an injury at the position ahead of the trade deadline, desperation could lead to a 504 area code phone call being made. Until at least after the draft, teams checking or rechecking in the same cases doesn't make much sense. If the Saints get their chance to move Carr, it doesn't feel like a likely move will fall into place until at least after the draft. All right. And you got that makes sense. Right now, you got teams lining up, getting ready for the draft. Free agency's going on now. You're getting ready for the draft. Undrafted free agents. Maybe teams will let a player go that you were not expecting. They can become free and available. So we'll just have to see how that develops with Derek Carr. All right, family. Let's see. Kai says KBJ and David Elk was going to be serious. They about to lock Ish down on that left side on that line. Left side, strong side. I'm telling you now. Left side, strong side. Right now, on paper, that's the strongest side of the New Orleans Saints. Right now, on paper, the Saints look like they have improved. Right now, on paper, we're feeling good about this team. Right now, on paper, we expect the Saints to improve their win total, but that's on paper. Football is not played on paper, or is it? With the X's and O's. But it's still about the men going out there, lining up between the lines and executing. Feel good. It's all right to feel good, but some of you're going too far. They made some good additions to a bad football team. We are a bad football team until proven different in 2026. That's why we drafted number 8. I'm going to keep reminding y'all of that. We will not be like our brethren in the NFC South who win the offseason division title and Super Bowl every year. And you know who I'm talking about. We're not like the Falcons. We're not doing that. Looks like good moves. Okay. But can they come together as a team? A competent team? Can they get off to a good start? And by the way, this is a team that scored a NFL low 27 total punts in the first quarter throughout the entire season. You feel good about that? That has to do with coaching. That didn't improve. That has to do with personnel, on-field decisions. Lack of coming out ready to play football, which falls on who? We like what Kellen Moore is doing, but your team coming out the locker room week after week after week after week after week and being inept, putting up goose eggs in the first quarter, putting your young quarterbacks in a hole early on in the game week after week. That falls on the head coach. That falls on the leaders of this team. They didn't get the job done in 2025. They got to get the job done here in 2026. All right, family. Calvin Banks Jr. special. The kid special. Rose says, Saints restructuring all these deals. Wonder what the next move is. I'm wondering too. Who that record says paper don't matter. Exactly. Tim Dunn. Tim is in the building. Tim, come on in. Tim says, Dolph still want a wide receiver or two. We got a lot of wide receivers. What let me go on NFL.com. Let's go. We're gonna go look at the available free agents, wide receivers that are available. We'll go to NFL.com. Let me pull this up for you. Now, what I'm pulling up, you guys can too. You can go to NFL.com and there's a new section they have in there called NFL IQ. This gives you the NFL draft board for the upcoming draft. It gives you the available free agents. Gives you a free agent board. It gives you players who are currently under contract, a 2026 team as well as the 2025 team. It lets you know if they're on the incline, if they're viewed as a player on the incline or the decline, or they're viewed as a diamond, or they're viewed as elite. So we're going to take a look at that right now. Let me get that up there for you. All righty. And let's see what the next comment says. Rose says, yeah, we need to start faster this year. Most definitely. I'm with you there, bro. Kyle, I'm with you. I believe the next move, and that could be what they're setting up for while they're restructuring these contracts to get Chris Olave's deal done. You got to get the kid's deal done. Randy Major. Randy's in the building. Randy, come on in. Dolph, I like the guard from Penn State. Ola, he a true dog. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of nice things about him. Haven't had a chance to watch film on him yet. I'm going to start getting into film and stuff, man. Next week I come on vacation with the family, man. And I'm going to start getting there. All right, family, so here we go. Right now, here's the current free agent board. Let's enter the frenzy. All right, so you see the 2025 teams, and this is 2026. Best available free agents, and we're talking wide receivers right now. All right, let's go to wide receivers. Let's see who's out there right now. All right, best wide receiver and now they also have them. These players, the top four you see are ranked in the top best available free agent, best available 100 free agents for 2026. Right now, the top one is Juwan Jennings of the 49ers. The thing is, bringing in a Juwan Jennings, what's it going to cost? Juwan Jennings is not going to come cheap. He's going to want some money. And I'm not talking about the minimum. He's not going to want that. He's not. Then you got Stephon Diggs, just made it to the Super Bowl with the Patriots, but he's dealing with other stuff. Now, here's a popular name. My brother Q brought him up. A lot of you brought him up. Last year, Deebo Samuel had over 700 yards receiving. He's not the old Debo, but he's still productive. I wouldn't be mad if the Saints signed Debo Samuel. He's just 30 years old. And here's a kid that really interests me, family. Calvin Austin Jr. Calvin Austin Jr. from Pittsburgh. He made a lot of big plays last year for the Steelers. But in fact, let's look up his stats right there. Calvin Austin Jr. from 2025. And matter of fact, it's saying he signed with the Giants. Okay. Is that reported? I didn't see that reported, Calvin. No, he's with the Steelers last year, but this is saying he signed with the Giants. Let's see. Yeah, he signed with the Giants. I like this. I like that selection. Yeah, the Giants signed him. He was originally a full-round choice. In 2022, he played in 48 games for the Steelers. He started 16. He had 84 catches in his Steelers career for 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. He also has versatility running the ball. He rushed the ball 11 times for 57 yards and a touchdown, but he's off the board. He's not available. So he's gone. So then there's Tyreek Hill. No. What about homegrown Tulane? We saw what he did with Chicago. We saw his first few years with Atlanta. Darnell Mooney. I would like Darnell Mooney would be a good addition. He's a good receiver. Josh Reynolds is a good one. Sterling Shepard. You got Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen is going to be a Charger or nothing else. Juju Smith-Schuster. Van Jefferson. So out of this list right there, you got Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert. So out of this list right here, all the way up to, we're going to say Jalen Tolbert. So from Jalen Tolbert back up to Juwan Jennings, who do you think will be the better fit, the best fit for the New Orleans Saints? Let me know. Man, Rumor, K4Q, how you doing? Come on in. What's going on with you, fam? Thank you for being here. Didn't Darnell Mooney sign with the Giants? Let me look it up, Kai. He might have. Let's see. Did Darnell Mooney? Man, them be two good signing under the radar signings by the Giants, man. Let's see. You are correct, Kai. He is with the Giants. I like that signing, man. I like that signing. Now, we also got to look at the Saints. Honestly, who on this list from Juwan Jennings? I'm talking about the current player they are. From Juwan Jennings all the way to Van Jefferson. Who on this list is just head and heels better than what the Saints currently have on their roster? Let's bring up the Saints roster. Let's get the Saints roster up. Give me 1 minute, get the Saints roster up. And let's see. Because a lot of us are crying for, keep saying, we need this. We need a wide receiver. We need a wide receiver. But we can't be in the market of just signing somebody to sign them. Right? All right, so, of course, we got Chris Olave. Let me share this with you. Let's share this now. Let me get this out the way. All right, here we go. We got Chris Olave, Samori Toure. New Orleans, I call him Toure, baby. All right. Here's Samori, 6'1", 196, 27 years old. He's from Nebraska, 1 catch last year. Okay. We know what Chris. Ain't no need to even go on Chris. We know we got in the Chris. Okay. Dante Pettis. What do we got in Dante Pettis? 30 years old, 6'1", 195, 9 catches, 127 yards, average 14 yards of reception last year. Now, what Dante Pettis, I think, disappointed was in the return game. The prior year, he was really good. To me, last year, he kind of declined in the return game. So that's why I would look. So we got Dante Pettis. All right. Then we got from a new addition member, Ronnie Bell. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? Candy girl, Ronnie Bell. 2 catches, 11.5 yards of reception and 1 touchdown. And who can forget his 1 touchdown on the final game of the season in the back of the end zone by the back pylon, one-handed snag for the touchdown. Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. Yep, so Ronnie Bell. Hell, I kind of plays all 3 of them. Okay. Then there's Kevin Austin Jr., who, by the way, your quarterback has a rapport with, has chemistry with. Here's the big receiver. 6'2", 200 pounds, just 25 years old. He's just 25. Last year, 13 catches, 140 yards. He averaged 10.7 yards of reception. He had 1 touchdown. All right. So let me tell you something. Ronnie Bell, a.k.a. Jono Barnes. Boy, y'all crazy. So he look like Jono. Man, rumor says, I want Debo. Use him in that hill road. Here's the thing. We keep that Taysom Hill road. Does that really work or exist with Kellen Moore? Did it really work this past season? Maybe that Taysom Hill role is just for a Taysom Hill. There have been a lot of teams trying to duplicate that Taysom Hill. It's only 1,000 man. That's Taysom Hill. So can't everybody do it? Debo Sanders would be the best version that he currently is of himself. But hey, Kevin Austin Jr. is in the building. All right. They still haven't really, they've updated it some. Now they still got Faulkner and it's the old roster here. Let's see if they give us better roster update. Yeah, because here we go. We got Damian Alford. He's a rookie. 200. Here you go. Is this the kid from Canada? 6'6". Oh, you want a bigger receiver? Damn it, here you go. You got a power forward, small forward, power forward playing right here. Go small ball, he power forward. Hell, even center in small ball NBA. But Damian Alford, rookie, 6'6", 224 pounds. No stats in it. Let's look at his biography. Hell, they ain't got the kid biography on here. Career. Nothing. You're a rookie. Okay, Damian Alford. No stats in the NFL. All right. Let's see. Big receiver. We just did Kevin. Kevin Austin. We just him. We just did Ronnie Bell. Ronnie Bell, damn it, do kind of look like Jono. Boy, y'all stupid, though. Let me see. Ronnie Bell. We just did Ronnie Bell. All right. Let's see. One other receiver. Elijah Cooks. Look at Mr. Cooks. Elijah Cooks. Here's another big receiver. 6'4", 215 pounds, 27, has 2 years of NFL experience. He was with the he has been with the Jaguars since he's entered the league. In his career, he has 3 total catches for 38 yards. Average is 4.2 yards. His longest has been 23 yards. So he's mainly been a probably special teamer. But he is in the house. Would that not be the big receiver that everybody keeps asking for? We got a kid 6'6". We got a kid 6'4" right here. 215 pounds. Okay, let's keep it going. Some more wide receivers. We'll keep going. Then, hey, don't forget about Bub. Bub comes back. Bub Moon, 6'2", 215 pounds, going to his third year. He got to stay healthy. 7 games. He started 1 game. He has 9 catches in his career, 1 touchdown. For his career, he averages 13 yards a reception. He gets you a first down and more every time he touches the ball. But damn it, he's only playing in 7 games. You got to be healthy. You got to be available. The old saying, you cannot make the team well in the tub. But Bud Means another big receiver. Okay, let's keep it going. Chris is not bad. Trey Palmer is not bad. Jalen Pope. What is Jalen Pope? Jalen Pope, 5'11", 6 foot. Jalen Pope, 6'1", but he's 203 pounds. His third year, former second-round pick of the Patriots. 2024, he played in 15 games with the Patriots. He got 7 starts. He had 12 catches for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns. Longest one was for 21 yards. He averaged 7.2 yards of reception. Saints are high on Jalen Pope. I was high on him coming out of college from the University of Washington. I think the young man's a talent. And listen, he was a second-round selection for a reason. And let's hopefully he plays up to that. So him, Trey Palmer, you got Bub Means, you got who else we got? I say we got Bub Means, you got David Elwood. No, David Elwood. Come on, dog. Stop it. Calvin Banks, Kevin Austin Jr. So you got Kevin Austin Jr. Let's keep it going. We talked about Bud Means. We just talked about Jalen Pope. And basically, I just wanted to go through this roster and look at these wide receivers we have. Mr. Training Camp, Mr. Preseason, Mason Tipton, Samari Turo, we looked at. And of course, the man. I think right now he's the number 2 receiver on his team. 6'5", 210, Devon Vele. 25 catches, 293 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11.7 yards of reception. We know what he can do. Just got hurt. So the Saints do have the big body receiver. So I'm saying that to say when you look at this free agency list, which we're going to switch back to right now, I can see, I'm with y'all in Debo. If they bring in Debo, I can see him fighting for wide receiver number 3. I don't see Debo Samuel starting. And we can't go off the past, man. We got to go by what they have, what they are now in their career. Debo Samuels is not, he's definitely not a 1. He's definitely not a 2. Hell, has he ever been a 1? That's no disrespect. Has Debo Samuels, he's saying Samuel, has Debo Samuel ever been a number 1 receiver? Was he ever the number 1 receiver in Frisco? I argue with you that he wasn't. That it was the tight end. There was Kittle. So, who do you think? Blaze says, watch out for my line, y'all. All right, Blaze, go check that out, brother. Thank you for being here. Doug, what you think about adding Cam Taylor-Britt? Cam Taylor-Britt. Let me see. Let's look up Cam Taylor-Britt. Is Cam Taylor-Britt a receiver or does he play another position? Not familiar with the name. I don't know much about the name. I've heard it before. Let me know if that's someone currently in the league or is that someone in the draft. Let's go. Who else is here? Let's see. Debo did play with a backup quarterback this year. Okay. When he didn't play with a backup quarterback in Frisco, was he the number 1 option? Simple question. Was he the number one receiving option ever? Even in his heyday, was he ever the number one receiving option in San Francisco? I say no. Now, if you disagree, if y'all disagree, let me know. Tell me yes or tell me no. But I say no, he never was. He may have been number two, but he never was more of a target. He was the 49ers Taysom Hill. Because he did what? He ran, he caught the ball, he ran the ball, he was in the backfield, turn kicks. He did all that. Oh, Connor played for Cincinnati. Okay. Connor played for Cincinnati. Not too familiar with his game, so I can't comment on him right now. Let me do a little research on him and reach out to some people who have seen him play and get their thoughts and opinions on him, and I'll get back to you on him. But appreciate the question. But again, we're looking to add. I don't want to add players just to add players. We already got like 10 receivers in the house. Now, if they went out and they definitely had a Debo. Yeah, they had a Debo package. That's what they had. They had a Debo package. He was not a number one receiver for San Francisco. He was not. And I understand that last year in Washington, the majority of the time he was playing with Mariota because of the injury to Jalen Daniels. But, and listen, Debo wasn't trash. I'm not saying he's trash or close to anything like that. I'm just saying he has never been that number one or number two guy. He is a gadget guy, a package guy. He was their version of their Swift Army knife. That's what he is. Jack of all trade, master of none. And that might not even be right. He's a good receiver. He just was never a number one option. Now, any 49er fans out there saying, let me know if I'm wrong. Please correct me. I just don't see it. All right. Now, we know we lost Mario Davis, and Caden Ellis is coming in this year. So this past season, DeMario finished with 144 total tackles, 62 solo, 82 unassisted. He had a sack and a half and 6 tackles for a loss. He had 8 pressures, and he was on the field for 1,036 plays, and he was in coverage 483 times, and he forced 2 fumbles. So what about Caden Ellis, who returns home? Caden Ellis in 2025, family, 107 tackles, 50 assisted tackles, 57 solo. Caden Ellis had 10 tackles for losses last year. I'm going to repeat that, double digit, 10 tackles for a loss. He had an interception last year. He had 3.5 sacks last year, and that total was down. Remember, the Falcons, they invested in 2 young pass rushers. So his ability to rush the passer was what? It was diminished because of the lack of opportunities. But again, he still got 3.5 sacks. He had 26 pressures. He was on the field for 1,087 plays. He was in coverage for 464 snaps, and he forced 1 fumble. Again, like he said in his press conference, no one person is going to replace DeMario Davis. It's going to take them as a group, as a unit, a linebacker group and unit to make up for what they lost in DeMario Davis. And what about the incumbent? Pete Werner, last year, 81 total tackles, 49 solo, 32 assisted. Pete Werner had more sacks than DeMario last year. He had 2 tackles for a loss. He had 4. He had 4 pressures. He played in less than 700 plays last year. He only got 697 snaps last year. 317 were in coverage. He had no forced fumbles and no intercepts. Now, in 2024, speaking of Kaden Ellis, he had 151 total tackles, 73 solos, 78 assisted. He had 5 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, 1 intercept, 39 pressures, 1 forced fumble. He was in coverage 491 plays. He had a grand total of 1,088 snaps on the field. Productive. And because we know he had that green dot the entire time he was in Atlanta. In fact, after 2024, Sports Illustrated had an article where they were talking about him as a budding star in the National Football League. So Kaden Ellis goes away. He starts to develop his last year in New Orleans. He goes to Atlanta. He blossoms. Now, 3 years later, he comes back home. And make no doubt about it, I don't know why there are a few out there trying to question it. He's starting. You don't give him the money you gave him. He's starting. It's him and it's Pete Werner until somebody comes in and beats Pete Werner out. Y'all keep trying to get Pete off the field. Y'all keep saying bring this person in. At first it was going to be Willie Gay. He whooped Willie Gay's ass. He stayed on the field. Danny Stutzman got plays last year, ate into his snaps, but still could not replace him. Now he has the opportunities off season. That's going to be a fight. And we keep talking about Danny Stutzman, a kid that needs to get on the field more, that they're really excited about and high on, is Isaiah Stallberg. Now we need him when he's rushing the quarterback to stop going over their damn head and flipping and missing the sack. He got to break down more, become more technically sound. But that kid's athletic as hell. I can see him linebacker, all-ball linebacker, middle linebacker, edge, safety. He's an outside candidate to be one of the backups in that star role for Coach Staley with his athleticism. All right, let's keep it going. All right. Man Rumor says, I personally think Ellis can reinvent that middle. Not the Mario, but he can definitely build on it. Yeah, he can. We need smart, intelligent, good football players. Smart, intelligent, good football players who are where they're supposed to be and who are technically sound. Just make plays. Just do their job. Just do their job. All right. Vi would add 51-51 says Ellis is ranked number 4 in quarterback pressures. That's true. He is. He came with it, man. Ellis, and you heard him say he's a defensive end at heart first. Who that record says Stallberg is undersized. He special team guy linebacker. Did you see him get snaps on regular defense and what he did? This kid is developing. He's going to be more than just. He's going to be more than just a special team guy. You cannot put guys in the box just because they're so-called undersized. Some of the greatest of all times have been undersized. Hell, you had one of the greatest of all time to play, Sam Mills, the little field general. So I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. If you're a good at football player, that's all that matters. Turn on the film. Get them out there between the line. Do you know where you're supposed to be? Are you where you're supposed to be? Are you technically sound? Are you giving it everything you got as long as you're on that field? Are you a team first guy or are you a me guy? All that. Yeah, he's special team guy contributing on third down, which means what? He got in base, he got on regular defense. Correct. So just saying third down is money down, bro. Third down is money down. So if he on the field on third down, that means what? Coach Staley thinks highly of you to put you on that field on third down. And he was out there and he was sending them and he was coming. I just think he's a young man whose needle right now is pointed up, and he's someone to keep an eye on this season. All right. So let's keep it going. Now let's go around the NFL, man. Let's go get some NFL news today. See what's going on in the National Football League today. Give me 1 second, family. Let me get that up for you. Again, this is the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. I'm your host, Dolph Jackson. Thank you all for joining us today, family. Listen, Saints football 2026. Saints are off to a good start in free agency. Love the moves that they have made. Again, I just say, family, let's be realistic. Let's be cautious. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And remember, this is just on paper. That's it. All right. So in NFL news, family, Dallas Goedert agrees to terms on a 1-year deal. He's gone back to Philly. He was willing to work with the team to run it back a year, in doing so avoiding a $20 million day money hit against the cap for the Eagles. So Dallas Goedert is going back to Philadelphia. He will be back in the Eagles. Let's see. Let's go free agent tracker team by team. Get that up for you. And we're going to start here with the Buffalo Bills. Share that with you. Again, family, please hit that like button if you're enjoying the show. Please leave a comment. It will help the channel grow. We appreciate each and every single one of you for spending some of your time here with us here at the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. All right, so here we go. Let's go around the NFL. Let's see some of the moves. I ain't going to read each and every move the team made, but I'm going to talk about some of the key moves, some of the key additions team made. Of course, for the Bills, it was the trade for DJ Moore, the re-signing of Connor McGovern, the signing of Bradley Chubb, that 3-year, $43 million, $29 million guaranteed. A sneaky one is cornerback D. Alford. They got him on the 3-year deal. Now let's go to the Dolphins. Of course, the big news, hey, they move on from Tua. They signed Malik Willis to a 3-year, $67.5 million deal, giving him $45 million guaranteed. They also signed a receiver who I like with the Rams, Tutu Atwell. They signed him to a 1-year deal. Some other moves they made. Hey, that's some of you guys' favorite player. One of you guys' favorite player. He resigns. Willie Gay resigns with him. They re-signed a lot of players. You got Marco Wilson signed with the Dolphins. They signed 2 kickers, so they're going to have a kicking battle there in the Sunshine State in South Beach. All right, let's go to the Super Bowl running up Patriots. Their big moves, bringing in former Packers wide receiver Romeo Doubs. They signed him to a 4-year, $70 million contract. Then they signed defensive lineman Draymond Jones to a $39.5 million deal with $14.5 million in year 1 guaranteed. And they also signed safety Kevin Byard to a 1-year, $9 million contract. Good deals, and of course, Elijah Vera Tucker signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with $21 million guaranteed. So some good moves by the Super Bowl runner-up Patriots. The big thing here for the Patriots is Romeo Doubs. Can he be that number 1 guy? They're giving you number 1 receiver money. He has that opportunity now to prove that he is a 1A, a main receiver, a number 1 receiver in the offense, and he's going to a team that is talented, a team that has a young stud quarterback, has one of the top coaches in the National Football League, a good organization, an organization that's all about winning. So Romeo Doubs now gets to prove he's a number 1 receiver with the Patriots. Now, here we go. The New York Jets, we know about DeMario, but also they bring in David Onyemata, signed a 1-year deal. They also acquired T'Vondre Sweat from the Titans in a trade for edge rusher Jermaine Johnson. Of course, they traded for Geno Smith. So Geno Smith, they got that veteran quarterback, that bridge quarterback to hold it down for 1 year. Most importantly, they re-signed, they franchise tag Breece Hall, and they will pay him $14.293 million for 2026, but they are hoping to work out a long-term deal with him before the start of the 2026 season. They re-signed linebacker Makai Walker. And listen, they also acquire Minka Fitzpatrick in a trade with the Dolphins in exchange for a 7th-round pick. And Fitzpatrick will sign a 3-year, $40 million extension with the Jets. That was a good pickup. All right, let's go. Now, Baltimore got Tyler Huntley returning. And of course, the big news. This was the talk on last week. All of a sudden, amazingly, Trey Henderson price reportedly goes down. How should I put it? A mysterious, not mysterious, well, a shoulder. I believe they reported that it was a shoulder or something that Max Crosby failed. Max Crosby physical. That's why he failed the physical. So they resent him back to the Raiders. They rescinded the trade. They went out and they signed Trey Henderson to 4 years, $112 million, $60 million fully guaranteed. So that was the big news all the last week, and it's something that teams and NFL fans are still talking about to this day. All right, the Bengals, they signed Josh Johnson, the backup. Joe Burrow, he signed a 1-year deal. Orlando Brown Jr. signed a 2-year, $32 million extension. They signed Edge Boyd Murphy to a 3-year, $60 million deal. They also got former Commanders defensive lineman Jonathan Allen. They signed Jonathan Allen to a 2-year, $26 million deal that has $28 million in guarantee, $28 million in incentives if he hits them. Former Saints tight end Jack Stone signed with the Browns. Zion Johnson, who was reportedly one of the people that was on the Saints radar, he signed a 3-year, $49.5 million deal with the Browns. The Steelers, they signed Rico Dowd. I like that signing for the Steelers. Rico Dowd, Jill, and Warren. That's a good 1-2 punch for the Steelers. But this is it. Michael Pittman Jr. acquiring the trade with the Colts for a 7th-rounder this year. And he immediately gets a new 3-year, $59 million deal with the Steelers. Cameron Haywood, he's going to retire Steeler. He ain't going nowhere, and he's still playing at a high level. He signed a 2-year, $32.25 million contract with $16.25 million fully guaranteed. Asante Samuel Jr. re-signed. This will be his 2nd season back from that injury. Should be better this year. Should be more healthier. That could be a really good signing that could pay dividends this year for the Steelers. And Darnell Savage is a underrated safety in this league. Now, of course, in Houston, H-Town, David Montgomery was acquired in the trade with the Lions for Drew Shrugs, a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick. Foster Monroe is there. They re-signed Dalton Schultz. Evan Brown, he got a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. They re-signed Trent Brown to a deal that was worth up to $7 million. Offensive tackle Braden Smith signed a 2-year deal for $25 million with $13.5 million guaranteed. The big signing, Danielle Hunter signed his 1-year extension for $40 million. Ed Ingram re-signed on a 3-year, $37.5 million deal. Defensive end Logan Hall signed a 2-year contract for $7 million. They made a lot of moves. Really good moves here. Kicker Kyle Fairburn signed a 2-year, $13 million extension, making him the highest paid kicker in the NFL. And they traded every good thing they did was messed up with the last thing they did. Man, shout out to Mickey Loomis for getting something back. He got draft capital for Kyle Kroger, acquiring the trade with the Saints along with a 2028 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2028 6th-round pick. Man, where'd it go, Mickey? I don't know what the hell they were thinking. Daniel Jones re-signed on a 2-year, $88 million deal. Alec Pierce re-signed. They signed him to that $114 million contract for 4 years. Then that they made him the number 1 receiver. Thus, they turn around, they trade Michael Pittman to the Steelers. All right. They also acquired defensive tackle Kobe Wooden from the Packers in exchange for linebacker Zaire Franklin. So they move on from Zaire Franklin. Jacksonville, Chris Rodriguez Jr. signed a 2-year, $10 million deal with $6.2 million guaranteed. Monteric Brown resigned on a 3-year, $33 million contract. The cornerback. In Tennessee, they signed Mitchell Trubisky to be the backup. I'm just looking for the ones of interest. Cordell Flott signed a 3-year, $45 million deal with $32 million fully guaranteed. And of course, there used to other starting corner, Alontae Taylor, former Saint, 3-year, $60 million, $42 million guaranteed. So there are your two starting cornerbacks for the Titans, Cordell Flott and Alontae Taylor. Now let's go to AFC West. Sam Ehlinger resigned for $2 million. Adam Prentice resigned. Jaleel McLaughlin, he resigned. Adam Troutman resigned. So nothing else significant. The Kansas City Chiefs, man. Super Bowl MVP signed a 3-year deal for $45 million, $28.7 million guaranteed. Kenneth Walker III is a Chief man. That was a hell of a signing. And of course, Travis Kelce re-signed on a 1-year, $12 million deal that has a maximum value of $15. Now we go to the Raiders. The Raiders signed wide receiver Jalen Nailor to a 3-year, $35.3 million deal with $23 million guaranteed. Their biggest splash was what? Center Tyler Linderbaum, the former Baltimore Raven. They signed him to a 3-year, $81 million deal. What about the Chargers? They re-signed quarterback Trey Lance. They also signed running back Keaton Mitchell to a 2-year, $9.25 million deal. See the biggest one. Tyler Badaz signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, according to Ian Rappaport there. And that's still significance there. Let's go to the NFC East. Here we go. Sam Howell signed to be Dak's backup. The Cowboys do the smart thing. They re-signed Javonte Williams to 3 years, $24 million deal. They got that done before free agency even started, and they gave him $16 million guaranteed. They franchise tag George Pickens rather than letting him hit the open market. They will pay him $27.298 million for the season. They also traded for Rashawn Gary with the Packers. That was a good move. So they've been quietly making some good moves in Dallas. The Giants have quietly been making some good moves. I tell you, I like that Darnell Mooney signing. I like that signing. They re-signed Evan Neal. Tremaine Edmonds, the former Bear, signed a 3-year, $36 million deal with the Bears. He'll be coming in. Cornerback Greg Newsome II. He signs a 1-year, $8 million deal with the New York Giants. And also tight end Isaiah Likely. That's right. The former Ravens signed a 3-year, $40 million deal that can be worth up to $47.5 million with incentives. So some good moves that the New York Giants are making. Of course, the Philadelphia Eagles, they just re-signed Dallas Goedert. Jordan Davis, man, they re-signed Big Jordan to a 3-year, $78 million contract extension that included $65 million guaranteed. Also, they signed a 1-year deal with a max value of $15 million for cornerback Tariq Woolen. The Washington Commanders re-signed quarterback Marcus Mariota, running back Jerome Ford. Their big addition was Laramie Tunsil. They signed him to a 2-year, $60.2 million extension with $52.65 million fully guaranteed. They also signed Caleb Von Chase on to a 1-year, $12 million deal. And Odafe Uwe signed a 4-year, $100 million deal with $68 million guaranteed. So some good moves made in the nation's capital. They just got to keep Jalen Daniels healthy. And in the NFC North, the Bears, Chase Keenum re-signed to a 2-year, $4.5 million deal. Devin Bush signed a 3-year, $30 million deal. And safety Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant signed a 3-year, $40 million deal that included $25.75 million guaranteed. In Detroit, he's back. Teddy Two Gloves is back. He's back. He's the backup quarterback in Motown. Isaiah Pacheco the former Kansas City Chiefs, he signs. And Cade Mays, center, signs a 3-year, $25 million deal with the Lions. All right, family. Let's get your thoughts on some of those moves. Oh, man. All right, family. John Franklin Myers with Titans. You think we make some more moves this week? Hopefully we do. But again, I don't want the team just to make moves. And so far this offseason, every move that they have made, from restructuring players' contracts to who they bought in free agency, for who they have decided not to chase in free agency, everything has been calculated with this team. And I think we'll see the same thing this week. I think, of course, it's going to slow down now. So I don't think we'll see any marquee names come in. Again, wide receiver, everybody's saying wide receiver. It could, if it's a wide receiver, it could be Deebo Sanders if the money is right, if he's realistic, if the team is realistic, and if Deebo Sanders and his camp is realistic, if that's something that they want to visit. Other than that, to me, Juie Jennings, like I said, I think he priced himself. The price is not going to be what the Saints want to pay for him. And again, we went over the receiver run right now for the Saints. And if you really need a receiver, you go get your receiver in this draft. It is really deep with receivers. Who that say Stuckman is the middle linebacker and Kaden Ellis is a outside. Jalen Ford also is a middle linebacker. Gotcha. Y'all keep saying Stutzman. I'm telling y'all, I don't like Pete Warner, but ain't nobody beating him out. All right, who that say Starbirds? Okay, I read that one. All right, family. Look, I want to thank y'all for joining me for this edition of the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. I'm about to get on out of here. Boy, dog still a little under the weather, but look, I had to come on, family. I had to talk to you. I had to talk a little Saints football today with you, baby. Hope you enjoyed the show. Keep your notifications on, family. Look, follow the Come On In Sports Network, which is home, family, to uneducated sports talk, Atlanta Falcons, Fandemic, the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast, Come On In Bills. Listen, we live stream, we cover NBA, we covering cricket, rugby. We're going to be covering baseball, the NBA playoffs. So we going to have you covered here at the Come On In Sports Network. Again, I appreciate each and every single one of you for being here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Bell or Brazil. Yeah. Those would be too good in the second round. Hell, if one of them there in the third round, those would be two good additions. Hell, in case they add both of them in the draft, that receiver room really gonna be. But somebody gonna be gone. Then we got to remember, if you got right now the receiver room is crowded. So they bring in the Deebo Sanders, Samuels, and then they go out and they bring in, let's say they bring in a Bell Brazil. You got to look at reps. How many reps will these players get in practice? That's what it's going to come down to. How many reps will you get? But we shall see, family. Again, thank everybody for being here. I appreciate your family. This is the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. I'm your host, Dolph Jackson. And like always, family, love and who that. And we out. Have a good night.
Yeah. We back, baby. Keeping It Real Who That Sports pod. Dolph Jackson, Coach Rock. Presented by the Come On In Sports Network. Who That Nation, how you doing? Come on in. Take a seat, it's all good, you're amongst friends. Breaking news, interviews, Saints Juice. Open lines up just for you. 9 War, 10 War, where you at? 12 War, 15, where you at? 3rd War, 17, where you at? 9th War, all the way in the back. Uptown, baby, downtown, baby. Everybody baby. Downtown, baby. Everybody represent black and gold, baby.